And in that case, Mr. Guillory is on probation for evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. Alleges that you violated your curfew condition of your bond by failing to remain at your approved residence by being at a location other than your approved residence at approximately 11:53. Were you at somewhere other than your home at 11:53 on July 4th of 2026?
I was at home. I was at home. But,
what's your address?
Yes.
That's your address. Well, this is saying that you weren't there.
No, I think he didn't. That's not the address probation had for him, Your Honor.
It specifically says in here. We'll just get, I'm going to say not true, and we'll get testimony with regard to that. Okay, y'all have a seat.
Possible evading detention suspect approximately 23:20 hours on that date.
Yes.
And was that at the intersection of Magnolia and Wilson?
Yes.
Can you advise the court what it is that you observed with respect to a Dodge Charger, the parking lot there at the Honey Stop?
I observed a white Dodge Charger leave the parking lot at a high rate of speed, and it went westbound on Super Drive.
And the court is obviously aware, but can you just very briefly for the record advise what it is about that area, that location, the Honey Stop? Is that a high crime area? And something that is actively patrolled by Belmont, and you may or may not stop vehicles, investigate possible crimes, correct?
Yes,
And is that for the safety of all the citizens in that area of town?
it is.
Okay. And after you observed that, can you tell the court what you did?
I got to the intersection of Magnolia and East Lucas and went westbound on Lucas, attempting to catch up to the vehicle. Continuing to travel at a high rate of speed, swerving in and out of traffic. Specifically our flaw system, which is a license plate reader system throughout the city. They were able to actually locate a vehicle matching the description of what I seen a little later on.
Real-time crime via the flock cameras to look for it and get an eye on it.
Right.
And were they able to relay to you where that vehicle had stopped?
Yes, or they were able to give me an area.
An area.
Yes.
And did you proceed to that area?
We did.
And what did you do when you arrived in that area? What did you locate?
My partner located that vehicle.
Did you arrive at that location also?
I did.
And did you make contact with the owner of that residence?
I did.
Did they know that vehicle? Was it their vehicle? Did they know who it belonged to?
No,
They did not.
they did not.
Were you advised of anything by dispatch with respect to someone calling in reference to that vehicle?
Yes, dispatch called and advised that the owner of that vehicle was calling one to report the vehicle stolen.
And was that owner in fact identified as Mr. Guillory?
Yes,
Do you see Mr. Guillory in the courtroom today?
I did. Upon making contact with him, I conducted a pat down for weapons and asked for consent to search his person. He gave me consent, and I located 2 Dodge key fobs in his pocket. And then beyond that, he continued to give me a rather long account of his night and how and why his vehicle was stolen.
And those are a type of more sporty type, or they go faster, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct.
Okay. And he had that type of key fob in his pocket.
He did.
And that was the type of car that you had observed evading you, and Flock had observed evading at high rate of speed. He's already admitted to this court which was a violation of his probation, that he went to Houston without permission. He indicated that to you, correct?
Correct.
And that he had just purchased that vehicle, correct? So he claimed ownership of it, right?
Right.
Brought it directly from Houston to Beaumont, parked it in the parking lot at West Lucas.
Right.
Expressed to you that he was fearful that those types of vehicles are commonly stolen because they're sporty, correct?
Correct.
But yet he left it running in the parking lot,
Correct.
presumably unlocked.
Yes.
And he had the key fob in his pocket. And what did you think based on your training experience as an officer when he told you that?
I believe that he wasn't being truthful.
Did you believe that he was actually the one operating that vehicle
Yes.
and trying to distance himself from evading you because of the fact that he was on probation or any other reason?
Yes. I expressed to him that we would have officers go to the Honey Stop where I originally seen the vehicle leaving and check surveillance video there to see who was in fact driving that vehicle. And at that point, his demeanor changed. He actually grabbed his phone off of, I believe, the hood of my car, took a step as if he was getting ready to flee our interaction at that point.
Okay. And did that just add another factor to your totality of the circumstances of this case?
Yes.
Saw a vehicle leave at a high rate of speed from the Honey Stop?
Yes.
And did you immediately initiate pursuit with lights, or did you wait
No, I attempted to catch up to the vehicle. I didn't activate my lights until I got behind him at the East Lucas and Lockwood.
How far behind you were you when you activated your emergency equipment?
I was a few car lengths.
And it's your testimony that the vehicle proceeded at a high rate of speed and evaded your attempts to detain the vehicle or stop the vehicle? How far did the vehicle get away from you? How much distance did it put between you once you activated the lights?
A substantial gap.
So it was what were the traffic conditions like?
At the very beginning, there was a little bit of traffic, and then we eventually turned southbound on West Lucas, and there was no traffic at that point.
And the vehicle was able to outdistance you?
Yes,
What was the speed that you all were traveling?
I was traveling over 100 miles an hour.
Did you discontinue the pursuit because of the concerns for safety?
I discontinued the pursuit once I lost the vehicle.
Did you ever obtain a visual on the operator of the vehicle?
I did not.
You could not identify the person who was operating the vehicle?
That's correct.
The system that you referred to, I guess you call it the real-time
Real-time crime center.
crime center,
Yes,
that coordinates all of the flock cameras in the city.
they do.
And based upon the information that you relayed to, I guess, that center, they relayed to you the location of the vehicle.
They gave me an estimated area which the last place that vehicle was seen. So it gave us an area to start looking for the vehicle.
Without disclosing any confidential information, what was the approximate radius of the area identified?
So they don't give us a radius. They give us an exact pinpoint location of where the vehicle was last seen,
Yeah.
which is the location of the camera itself. And
Well-
then that would give us the ability to say, okay, we need to check roughly this area.
Where was that location?
I believe that was at East Lucas and Gladys.
How far is that from the location where you located the defendant?
Not very far, maybe 2 blocks.
And you say that was maybe how far? Couple of blocks maybe from where the vehicle was located?
About, yes.
One were traveling on foot. How long do you think it would take to cover that distance?
Less than 5 minutes.
You said the vehicle was located in a residence, is that correct?
It was.
Did they have a ring cam or any type of video recording device where you could perhaps ascertain who exited the vehicle?
Not that I can recall.
Did you attempt to ask, or do you know any efforts were made?
Yeah, I spoke with the homeowner very briefly. We had several officers out there. Not long after we found the vehicles when dispatch advised me that Mr. Gill was wanting to report it stolen. So I then relocated to him to speak with him.
So you're unaware of whether there was any surveillance from the residence?
Correct.
Aroused your suspicions during this interaction?
He fob in his pocket.
Are you familiar with the mechanics of the way that vehicle operates, the ignition system?
No.
Do you know that I don't know either. I'm pretty much a traditional person when it comes to vehicles. I like old things. So, but this evidently is the type of vehicle where you don't have to have the key fob for the vehicle to be running. Or you have to have the key fob, but it doesn't have to be inserted. There isn't any kind of a mechanical device in the vehicle where it has to be inserted.
I don't believe so, no.
So I guess the push button
Yes,
before the vehicle can initiate it.
I believe so, yes.
If it's remote started. And so, I mean,
I don't,
here's the thing, I've had cars that do this, so I mean, y'all can go into it, but if if you're in your car and y'all can set my understanding, since nobody has whatever
I'm pretty
understanding,
primitive, Your Honor.
my understanding of my vehicles that have had a key fob, if I'm already in my vehicle and it's going, I stop and leave it running and get out with my key fob. Someone could get in it already running and drive it. Once they stop and turn it off, that's it. You have to have the key fob. So if you stop and leave it running, then someone could drive it. Or if you remote start it, probably not without the key fob.
Well, I guess we'll take the judges.
I mean, if anybody disagrees,
Yeah,
y'all are
that sounds
welcome.
good.
That's how they've all worked that I've had.
Excellent.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Malfino?
No, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
I
You
appreciate
can
it.
step down. Yes, sir.
Very briefly refresh the court's memory with respect to the addresses that he gave. Where was he supposed to be? How does that work with respect to it changing?
Up until all of this began, every time he reported to me, he stated his address as to
And the GPS showed him on Ashley Street.
correct,
Not that far apart, correct?
correct.
But not next door to one another.
Correct.
Right?
All right. Thank you. Anything else, Ms. Malfino?
No.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. You can step down. Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am. Like I had told the officer that was up here, I gave him what I told him. I said, I just came back. I went upstairs. I left the car running. Yeah, that was done with me. I was so excited. You know what I'm saying? It felt like an accomplishment to me to purchase a vehicle. I went upstairs. I told my brother. I had my girlfriend upstairs. You know what I'm saying? And we came back downstairs. After I told them, I'm so excited in the moment, caught up in the moment, that I'm not even just thinking about it logically that, yeah, this can happen this fast. Yeah, stuff happened, but I'm not thinking that it can happen like this fast. You know what I'm saying? So when we coming downstairs, I noticed that the vehicle was missing. As soon as I noticed the vehicle was missing, I'm not too much fond of how the law and stuff works, so I called my grandmother because she used to work for clerk as for the court. So she explained to me the steps what I need to do to go ahead and call and report my vehicle stolen.
Is that what you did?
Yes, sir.
Explain to the court how the ignition system works on that. What vehicle is it? What's the make and model?
It was a Dodge Charger Hellcat,
What year?
2023.
And how does the ignition system work on that vehicle with the key fob and the push button and all of that?
When you hop in the car, you can be in your pocket. It can be anywhere. You push the button and it start right up. So when you push the button and start right up, I can get out the car, leave it running, run into the house or run into the store
With the key fob.
with the key fob, and it'll be still running, door unlocked. I had the other key fob that he said he had. I had a Dodge Ram truck, and I don't know how I used to always do this. Sometimes I leave the key upstairs, I leave the truck running, and I hear him run downstairs, hop in the truck, take off, and then the car or the truck would notify that, hey, the key fob is missing.
So you don't dispute that you had the key fob for that vehicle when the officer questioned, is that right?
Yeah, I didn't dispute. I told him that I had the key fob.
And did you evade in that vehicle? Did you drive the vehicle and run from the police?
No, sir.
What about your residence as far as the disparity between the address that you were at and the address that you have reported to probation?
Like I was telling Ms. Lopez on numerous occasions and visits, I was in this like heated conflict between the residence I was staying at, which is my child's mother house, and which is my legal address, like that's on my ID. Me and her was going back and forth, you know.
Which
Family
address
drama.
is that?
Risk.
The rest?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. And we was going back and forth. We trying to work things out. And in the time of us trying to work things out, a kinfolk extended his arm out to me. He was like, hey, I know what you're going through. I'm older. I done been through this. If you need somewhere to stay for the time being while you try to work it out with your child's mother, come over. You always welcome. You ain't gotta sleep in your car. You argue, you sleeping in your car, you sleeping in your truck, you gotta go to work.
You don't have a job right now?
No, sir. I got a job lined up, but I'm scared to take the job because I don't know what's gonna happen right now.
Want to try to stay on probation?
Yes, sir.
You understand you can't go to Harris County without permission, any other county, you know that?
And that was my
You
mistake.
understand that?
Yes, sir.
How'd you pay for that car?
Um,
How much was it?
it was a nice little piece of money. I had vehicles I already had that I had already acquired, and I ended up selling those. I sold my I had a Cadillac that I had bought like years prior to that. I had another Cadillac I had bought years prior to that. My child's mother even because she know like I'm a good dad. I'm a good dad to all my kids. She gave me some money out of her income tax. She was like, hey, I know that you really want this car. I see that you done sold all your cars. You ain't got no cars. You trying to get back to afford to work now. I'm gonna give you this amount of money and tell me you can go ahead and treat yourself from being a good dad.
So how much was it?
It was like 20-something thousand. But like I say, I sold every vehicle I had. I had 3 vehicles. I sold every vehicle I had, like literally. And she ended up giving me like 7,000.
Because you didn't have a job, right? At the time.
At the time.
Yes or no? You didn't?
No, ma'am.
No, okay. So you did all of this hard work, sounds like, to get together the cash for that vehicle. It was a nice car, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
It goes fast, right?
yes, ma'am.
You were treating yourself. You just said, right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
But you went home straight from Houston to Beaumont because you didn't want it to get stolen, right?
Correct.
That's what you told Officer Moss.
Correct.
But you left it running.
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. And like I say, I ain't wanted to. Yes, you're right. I didn't want to get stolen, but somebody's so excited, you're not even thinking about most of that stuff. You go buy a diamond ring or you buy a piece of jewelry, you get home, you might not even keep it on. You might set it down. You're not expecting somebody, your friend come over, you ain't set it down. You're not expecting her to steal.
Right, we're not talking about a diamond ring. We're talking about you just spent $20,000 in Houston.
Exactly.
For a
I just
Dodge-
use a scenario.
Hang on, for a Dodge Charger, Hellcat or whatever it is, and drove it straight to Beaumont because you were so excited and you were so nervous that something might happen to it, and yet you left it running, and you want Judge West to believe that someone else just happened to get in it, innovate all over Beaumont, and then when you went back downstairs, you called 911 and said it was missing, right?
Yes,
Is that what you want her to believe?
yes, ma'am.
And you violated all these other conditions of her probation, right? But she's supposed to take your word for this? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Judge, I would just ask the court to take into account everything that Ms. Lopez has testified to both last week and this week with respect to those, the answers solicited from the defendant himself, and the testimony of Officer Moss. Obviously, I'm not standing before you stating that I would have presented that evidence to a jury for beyond a reasonable doubt standard with respect to evading, but I think based on the totality of the circumstances that the court is allowed to take all of that into consideration, including Officer Moss's testimony, including the defendant's own testimony, that despite spending that money, not having a job, despite driving it straight here, he left it running in the parking lot and wants the court to believe that he did not evade, but yet someone stole the vehicle in that 20-minute time frame, and it was not him, and this is not his fault. He's on probation for evading, Judge. He has a known habit of fleeing from officers. He knew he was on probation. He probably didn't want to stop for some other reasons that I can't speculate. I can speculate too, but I won't suggest. Judge, I just believe based on the totality of the circumstances and what the court has at its disposal.
Thank you. Mr. Kimler, with regard to the allegations.
Your Honor, I think the court has sufficient evidence with the pleas of true to revoke his probation if the court's so inclined. As far as the evading detention motor vehicle, in your case, the evidentiary standard, and I appreciate the prosecution admitting this, probably falls short of a beyond a reasonable doubt standard. The question of whether it meets compliance to the evidence standard, I would expect the court to at least is 50-50. If the court is inclined to revoke him, you have enough to revoke him anyway, but finding the evading motor vehicle true will be probative of the level or whether he would be provoked or the length of the sentence, I suppose. So it matters in that regard. I would just suggest to the court that even with the evidence and the totality of the circumstances, by preponderance standard, it hasn't been met. So I'd argue for a negative finding on the offense of evading motor vehicle. I would just add to be given one more opportunity on probation.
Were you Mr. Guillory's probation officer from the beginning?
Yes.
And is there any reason that you would believe that he did not know of the condition with regard to remaining in Jefferson County?
No, ma'am. I go over conditions at the first appointment with every single person on my caseload.
And would that also include the curfew condition?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. Any questions based on that of Ms. Lopez? No. So, Mr. Guillory, I'm not buying it at all. It just none of it makes any sense with regard to this new offense. It makes no sense. If you're so excited about buying a new car, and then you state that you are up in an apartment or house, whatever it was, for 15 to 20 minutes because you're so excited. If I'm excited about something, a car especially, I'm going to run up, hey, I just got my new car. Y'all come see it. It's great. I just bought it. 15 to 20 minutes already doesn't make sense, but what that does is buy time for a story of somebody stole my car. The fact that you were arrested, or at least found, not arrested, when they came to you, just, I think the Officer Moss said less than a couple of blocks from where the car was located. I mean, it all just points to easily the fact you've already had your opportunity. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to find the standard is a preponderance of the evidence, and I am going to find by preponderance of the evidence count 1 true. I am going to find count 2 with regard to employment true. I am going to find Count 4, with regard to the address, true. The addresses are ridiculously confusing, which all that means to me is you're not where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. The community service, I'm not going to worry about because he had done some and there was some added because of the violations and a sanction. I am going to find count 7 true, that has to do with the curfew. I'm going to find count 9 true with regard to the bond condition of being at your location, and that's from that July 4th to July 5th time frame. And count 10 true as well with regard to not being where you're supposed to. With regard to argument on what I should do, is it your request that he's revoked?
Based on the fact that he was already on probation for the same type of offense and the court's finding in this, it would need to be my position that he's revoked, Judge. I would concur with Mr. Kimmler that maybe it doesn't rise to the level of the top of the punishment range, but it would be my position, just in all candor with the court, probably irrespective of what the court does, rather either continue him, place him in ISF. I don't, any other option the court has not to proceed, obviously, to the trial level with the underlying offense. I don't want to hide behind a log on that. So it will be my intention to dismiss that. I think the information is appropriate for the court to take into consideration, as you have done, but I would defer to whatever you think is appropriate. And ask that if he be continued, possibly he be extended or some type of other sanction to address his behavior being imposed.
Ms. Lopez, I know we didn't get an update done because you would be here. And typically an update would have a recommendation with regard to Mr. Guillory. I know he already had a 30-day sanction in our county jail. Do you feel like there's any chance of him being successful, or is it your position that he should be revoked?
He's denied responsibility in all of these instances. If he had taken any form of responsibility, my opinion may be different. But at this time, his attitude reflects that he's not taking this seriously, and so revocation would be my recommendation.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Kimlow?
As I said, Your Honor, I would just defer my previous response.
All right, so Mr. Guillory, because you're already on probation for evading, and I have found that you have committed this new evading. I don't think there's any reason for me not to believe that. I understand the levels of proof in a trial, but they're different than the levels of proof that I have to find. And so I have found that true. You've haven't even been on probation for a year and a half, and you've got several allegations, not just that one, of not following the rules that I have no doubt that Ms. Lopez told you. She tells everyone. She's been a probation officer for a long time, so I don't doubt that she told you about the curfew. I don't doubt that she told you about employment and staying in Jefferson County and all of those things. In fact, the fact that you have the GPS monitoring device on now and you're still going places that you're not supposed to be going, July 4th night, and then who knows what the last week, because now you're not charging it. So at this time, I'm going to find sufficient evidence at this time based on that to find you guilty. And at this time, find you guilty of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. I am going to sentence you to a term of 3 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. You're going to be handed the trial court certification. Mr. Kimmler, you're going to be handed the trial court certification. Y'all need to sign that and you'll get a copy of it. Shows that this was not an agreement. You have some rights to appeal, and you can talk to Mr. Kimmler about that. I'm also handing you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. As soon as you sign that, you can go back with the bailiff. Court will be in recess.